Hello Flosstube, it's Lori of Mischievous Stitches. I want to welcome you to my channel where I share my current works in progress, any haul or stash I've acquired in the past week, as well as a few finishes. So this past video, I share with you my current progress on Southern Land by Al Forrest Embroidery. I'm using the DMC conversion, and I had printed this off as a download. I worked on this last Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And for those of you that share, that have been watching my current progress on Instagram, you'll see that I have less progress than I had on my last Instagram post. I found that this, well, I don't know that you'd call it a motif, it's more of a pattern with the light blue and the red roses. I had completed it all and found that this portion here was one up from this portion over here. So with this being a symmetrical type pattern, I had to rip it out. So after making my last post on this one and finding that error, I often find errors when I'm posting on Instagram, because once I get it posted, I just kind of zoom in on it, and it's like the mistakes just are like a beacon, and they're drawing me in, and I don't notice it when I'm stitching it. I don't notice it when I take the picture. It's when I zoom in that I find them. And so I actually have less progress to share with you this week than I had last week. I do enjoy this piece, and I look forward to having a little more time to actually work on it. But so actually I'm behind more this week than last week. So I also picked up, when I made that mistake, I decided to pick up another of my whips that I picked up, and this is the Mary Cotton Sampler Mystery Sampler. That's by Lottie Da. And this is part 2. I'm still working on part 1. I did get a little bit finished. It does call for Week Style Works threads. And here they are. And they're all the call forwards. I've not changed any of the colors. So there's that. And it's on a piece of Cocoa Week Style Works linen. But this is a 40 count, and so I'm enjoying this. But if you remember a couple of videos ago, the 32 count Week Style Works that I had, parchment, I just didn't like the weave of it, and I think it's the looseness of the weave. So I know that if I'm going to use any of the old Week Style Works lot again, as long as it's 36 and above, I'm good. But this is where I am. So I had already completed this alphabet, but I worked on this next border here. It'll complete itself all the way across to the border, and then it'll have little red flower buds in there. And so hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I'll pick it up again. I did do another flower in the border. So there's Mary Cotton. She's not going to be a very big girl. Let me see if I can see exactly what she'll finish up as. I think my favorite part of it so far is just the bottom. That's not it. Actually, it doesn't. It just tells us, let's see. It calls for a 30 count Cocoa. Mine is not 30 count. And this is the key. They've got a little, I can't show you, they've got a little, like a bonus, tiny little pattern at the side for you that you can do, and it's saying how they finished that up. But anyway, I'll look that up instead of making you whole while I look it up. I'll have looked it up next video. But as you can see, this is basically the start of the first. You see the piece of fabric is not that big. I usually do a 3-inch border, so she's going to be a long and narrow girl. But I love the colors so far. Love how they're working up. They're fallish, a little dark, and I like that. So I worked with Mary Cotton. And then on Friday, I worked again with, on Instagram, we're using the hashtag Friendship Friday, SAL, and I am doing a stitch along with Jen's Stitching Niche again on a piece that we have in, a whip that we have in common, which is Cooper, and I finally pulled out the pattern cover this time. This is Cooper, and he's a very handsome boy. I'm enjoying this one as well. I'm stitching it on a 40 count piece of Picture This Plus Wren with the called for DMC threads. And I'm getting close to a finish on him. So I want to share him with you. Here are his threads. And I pulled all the DMCs for Cooper as well. Aren't they gorgeous? I love those blues in with those dark browns and teals. It's a very pretty colorway. And here I am. He's not going to be a very big boy either. So as you can see in the pattern, and this is my progress. So I'm basically halfway down at the tips of his feathers. The not difficult, but the most intensive piece in this to stitch is going to be his breast because it's so solid. And then you have the branch as well as his feathers, his tail feathers, but the most solid stitching I still have is going to be his breast. And so hopefully I'll have an August finish on Cooper. That's very exciting. But what I have really focused on this week, I've worked on this piece 3 days this past week, and I hope to continue to do that this week, is going to be the fall sampler. I don't know how all of you are, but when I'm getting close to a finish, I start itching. I'm ready to cross that last stitch. I'm pushing myself to get it there. So I have completed the bottom left corner of the pattern and the bottom left page. I moved over to the center page of this pattern, and let me show it to you. So if you'll remember in my last video, I had outlined the horse in preparation for 24 hours of cross stitch. And I was unable to finish it during that time, but I did finish him up earlier in the week. And so isn't he a good looking horse? So I jumped over and I finished the serpent there in the tree. And then this weekend I have finished the outline of the heel. And there's actually 3 different colors that are stitched in 3x3 squares all the way around to make the outline of the heel. And then there's a second color that you come in and you work that one 3x3 squares, and now I'm on the 3rd section of that, and then after that it'll be the words. And I'm hoping by this evening before I go to bed, I'm hoping to have the heel finished and the words inside. So let me give you let me fasten this needle down. I don't want to poke myself with it. I'm getting really close. So like I said, this page is finished. I'm in the middle of this page, and basically I have, you see Eve's hair, and then she has her waistband of leaves there. So all I have to do is color in her skin, and so I should be able to do that this week. But my focus tonight will be the heel and the wording. Tomorrow and Tuesday, maybe Eve, and then I'm gonna start outlining the big bad bovine that'll be right here. So he's going to be larger than the horse, but his horns are one color, and then he is spotted. So I just love a spotted cow. So that big bad bovine, I'm going to put him in sometime, hopefully at least get him outlined by the end of this coming week. So that's my goal for this week, is to make a lot of headway on this, and I should be able to knock this out in August. So I'm very excited about that. And so my goal will be, this month will be to make a completion on this piece, and to make a lot of headway on Cooper. Cooper is very close to a finish as well. Not super close, but close enough that if I give him a decent amount of attention this month, I could knock him out. Cooper is a past whip. This was my leap year 2020 start, and so I will be finishing this year, so that's exciting. I'm going to put this to the side because I'm going to put it back on my hoop when I finish with the video. So today I did a little bit of finishing, and I thought that I would share with you what I finished up. These are two past finishes, and I gave a little teaser in an Instagram post this week and asked for help from my Flosstube friends, my stitch friends, to help me to choose a color of fabric. And green was the winner. And this is my finish on Fracture Bird by Shakespeare's Peddler. I love the way it turned out. The jute twine with the spools on it was actually how Teresa had finished the piece up. I did put a small 3/4 inch strip at the bottom just because I wanted to put a few buttons. And then I did some satin stitches along the line just to give it a little added interest, if you can see that there. Teresa called for 1 spool. I put 2 spools, and I attached them in place with just some knots in the jute. And I finished this by putting a little slit in the back, and I was gonna finish it off completely, and then I thought this is more of a prim finish, so you can see where I closed it up. I said I want it to be prim what it is. It's just a little folk arty. I did change the date on mine when I finished it up the end of last year. This has 1989, and that's just the year my husband and I started dating. Just a cute little special date for me. But I love the way it turned out. It's different, it's cute, it's prim, and I'm just loving this fabric. And I finished up one other piece. This is a work basket freebie. You can find this on their web page. I will try to link this below. I had a weekend away with some friends this time last year, and this was my gift to them. I kitted this up, and then we all finished it. And I don't know that if any of the others has actually finished it into a pillow, but this is my finish on Blue Flower by the Work Basket. And as I said, this is a free pattern from the Work Basket that you can find on their website. There is one other, I don't know whether it's red flower or pink flower, but that's the shades of the flower, if that helps. But this is mine, and I loved the fabric. This is not the called for colors. It is a blue flower that they call for, but I changed the colors to more match this fabric that I found. And then I added the lace there. And if you look closely, you can see that I kind of tacked it down in places with some of the blue thread just to give it a little added interest. And I finished this one with a slit in the back as well. And I just cut out a piece of white felt into a heart shape and just crudely stitched that on there with a few cross stitches haphazardly stitched into the center of it just to cover where I turned the piece. And I'm really excited about the way that this turned out. I need to iron it down a little bit, but I love the finishing of that where you cut the slit in the back. There's so many different things you can use to cover it in the back. You can keep it crude like this. I finished one with a patch, looks like a patch on the back. This one looks like a patch, but it's the shape of a heart. You can do it in so many different ways, and it's easy, and then your corners turn out turn out perfectly. So I'm excited to have these two finishes. I'm excited that you stopped by to visit with me today. I do want to share with you one more thing before I go. I do have some haul. It's not cross stitch haul. It's just something that keeps popping up in my Instagram feed, and I have been interested in it, and so I just finally pulled the trigger. This is a macrame piece. Now, when I was young, I can remember my mother and her friends doing macrame. I can remember having plant holders that would hang from the ceiling that may have 1 or 2 baskets of a flower or a plant, a house plant in them. And this is not exactly like that, but it's very similar. And my mom was very interested in it when I showed it to her this weekend. But this is a macrame decorative hanging kit, and this is by Oak, or it's called Solid Oak, and this is it. So some of you may have had this come up in your Instagram feed as well, but it comes with everything you need to finish this piece up, even the 50 wooden beads. And then this is what the kit contains. I'm not sure exactly when I'll tackle this. Maybe I'll wait till next summer to get it put out. Maybe I'll try to get it done by Labor Day. We'll see. But isn't that neat? So basically you're just tying knots. Tie-in and looping thread. So very similar to what we're doing, but instead of using a needle, you're using your hands. I'm sure we all could figure this out, but anyway, I'm very excited to have this. I'm looking forward to a finish on it, but we all know we don't jump right to the finishes. So this kit, I'm not sure, like I said, exactly when I'll start it, but I am excited to have it, and I look forward to finishing it up, hopefully within the next few months or so. But anyway, thanks for stopping by with me, visiting with me, seeing what I'm up to. I'll be doing the same with many of you floss tubers that are watching. I enjoy watching your videos, and I want to thank you all for taking the time out of your weekend to spend making those videos, because I enjoy them. They keep me company while I'm stitching. And for all those that comment, just to touch base with us floss tubers, I know I very much appreciate your comments. I very much appreciate your time that you spend with me. And so until next time, hugs and stitches. Bye-bye.